part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane.
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright. You're listening to the Krypton Report.
Hey everybody, I just want to post this so everyone can remember that in January, the Multiverse fundraiser page that I've been a part of will be doing our yearly fundraiser. This time it is for aortic heart through the Ritter Foundation. And I want you to go over to their page, check out the notes, and check it out. I will be hosting an interview with the one and only Black Lightning himself, Cress Williams. That's right. Check that out in January. Head on to the page, keep looking on the social, and you'll see more information coming. Any money that is donated goes for a good cause. Check out the Ritter Foundation. Welcome to the Krypton Report podcast. I am your host, Tyler, the Superman of Blue, the Man of Tomorrow, and with me is the Superman of Red, the Man of Steel, the man that all women wish they could be with. That's right, Mr. James Cole. Welcome, James.
Okay, that's not true, but all right. I appreciate the thought. Appreciate the hype.
It's the thought that counts. Man,
Yeah.
Happy New Year. I'm going to go ahead and say this is pretty much our New Year's episode. I thought about doing like a end of the year wrap up New Year's type episode, but then with the Henry Cavill news, I was like, I don't want to talk about this whole year, you know? We'll just say Happy New Year. We look forward to what the next year is going to bring, and let's all be
Well,
happy.
you know, at the end of this year, and we're finishing up Superboy season 2, so I mean, it seems fitting,
right? You know, and
and we got a Action 1050 to talk about, which is like a jumping off point for the new set of books.
Exactly. So before we get into that, James, any good Christmas Superman stuff that you got?
Oh, well, I mean,
Or DC in general?
I got the Lois and Clark Road to Rebirth Superman, the black and silver. I got a Superman stocking. It's awesome because it's like blue and it's got like gold rope almost like trim all the way around the seam, and it's got and it's got a red cape. So
That's
I have
cool.
a Superman stocking with a red cape.
That's awesome. I didn't get anything Superman. I got Superman adjacent. Wait, I take that back. I got an ornament that is the official Superman Nutcracker. And Jania got the official Wonder Woman, or not Wonder Woman, Lois Lane Nutcracker ornament. The kids got us that from Steubenville, Ohio, which is like the home of the Nutcracker. I don't know why. But I got that. I got a homemade General Zod ornament. I got Hawkman and Dr. Fate, Black Adam McFarlane figures.
Oh yeah, I saw those. You sent pictures of those.
Jania got Swamp Thing, the McFarlane figure, which is huge as heck, dude. I knew it was big, right? But it's bigger than Darkseid and Steppenwolf.
Really?
And I think it's bigger than Killer Croc. Like, it is the biggest one yet. She got that.
That Killer Croc is pretty. That Killer Croc from Arkham. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So
and I want to get the Bane and get Bane versus Croc. Like, ooh,
it's a good
two
time.
behemoths.
Sayla wants the Man Bat. She's gonna get that for her birthday. We'll see. And then Sayla got her own Superman 12-inch figure. She kept taking one of mine and playing with it, so I got her own that she carries around with her. and then she got the superpowers, John Stewart, Green Lantern, and Flash. And everybody got a new DC shirt. Solomon and Jania got Shazam's, and Sayla got the Flash.
Nice. Yeah, Jamie did something with my stocking. Like, I bought a $3 stocking that was 25% off because it was like Christmas Eve.
Nice.
And she let me buy a stocking for me that she ended up using the Superman one to line the inside of. So when I was digging through, it kind of came out on my hand. And I was like, oh,
That's
this
sweet.
is so cool. Yeah, I was
That's
like, this is an
neat.
awesome. Yeah, it was a pretty awesome find, and it is an awesome uh um stocking. Like I sent you a picture, but I think you got to see it, you know?
I think I'll just have to come visit, and we'll have to pull out that stocking and check it out.
Heck yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, Christmas was cool. I mean, and the last thing I gotta say is the weird. I'm calling it a Christmas holiday. Blessing that we got of the below zero temperature and snowstorm. Because, I mean, honestly, dude, we had a white Christmas. We got snow that just started melting really much today. You know, like I went outside a couple times in a t-shirt. I wore a light hoodie yesterday and today. But you know, it started warming up, but I got 2 extra days with Jania just hanging in the house. The 23rd and the 24th were just really great times of just getting to be a family and basically kind of snowed in.
Awesome.
I couldn't ask for more. You know, I know that your job sucks and then they made you work and it was hell, so I'm sorry. But it was just a very
Yeah,
nice
I
blessing
spent 14 hours out at work. Well, the whole time wasn't outside, you know, like 8 of it was inside, and then a couple of hours in the tractor. But then it was definitely a couple more hours out in the elements. But
Yeah.
you know, that's why I have cold weather gear. Know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I know. But hey, that's the world we live in Ohio. But
We
let's
didn't
get
have a
into
white Christmas. We were snuggled up on the couch with blankets. We watched Christmas Story Christmas. We watched Krampus. We watched Violent Night.
which was an amazing movie. I wanted to do a whole review of just Christmas movies with Brian, but dude's got more free time now, but doesn't have time to talk to me. What the heck, man? I didn't say that. But Violent Night was an amazing Christmas movie. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I really really enjoyed myself watching the movie.
It's exactly what they pitched it. Home Alone meets Die
Yeah,
Hard.
it's in the title. It's
It's
in the title.
but it's Home Alone meets Die Hard.
Yep, with
That's exactly.
actual Santa Claus.
Yeah, and I
And
think
just a
that's
little Christmas magic that we don't really understand, but it
it's me.
works.
It works. You know, like it
It's
really
so
does
good.
work. And the thing is, if I couldn't have seen this as any, like, if I could not believe that his Santa Claus could be a legit Santa in any other movie, this wouldn't have worked. But the fact that he was a genuine Santa that you kind of could pop in and say, like, do like the Christmas Chronicles or something like that, and he just happened to get
Right.
caught up in this, it works. Unlike, Fat Man with Mel Gibson, where it's more like a dark, gritty, real world kind of Santa Claus fighting a hitman. kind of thing on a low budget. Yeah. But Violent Night, it is
No,
got
no,
some.
I never saw Fat Man.
What?
No, I never saw it.
You
I
should have
want
watched.
to.
It's on Brian's stuff.
Is
So
it?
yeah.
That's where we watched Krampus, but with
Y-
using his iTunes.
Yep.
The good friend that he is.
Yep. So. All right, let's get into
But
some
yeah,
news.
I bought Violent Night. We were just like, you know what? Just I'm buying it and we're watching it because she wanted to watch it. I wanted to watch it. It was like too bad. That's what's happening.
I was gonna buy it digitally, but Jania was like, "Yeah, but don't right now." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll listen to her." Dang it!
Well, we didn't go. We kept it. We had a really good Christmas. With the Christmas with the gifts and the kids loving like just about everything they got. So we nailed it and we didn't go crazy. It was good Christmas. So for us, I ended up spending that $25 to get Violent Night, and I'm okay with that.
I mean, yeah. What up? All right. So, without further ado, let's get into some news. Dun 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 dun, dun. News. We need a news theme song. Maybe I'll work on that for next year.
All
Did you
right.
watch the trailer for the animated Superman Lives?
No, you sent that to me, and I meant to watch that, but I didn't get a chance.
Gosh, it was so good. And when
Was
you
it?
watch it, yeah, because you watch it and you're like, okay, I want to see this movie. I'm in. It looks amazing. And it makes me depressed that there isn't actually a movie coming. like I showed it to Sayla and she's like, "Can we watch that movie, Daddy?" I'm like, "Baby, it's not really happening. But if it was, of
Like
course we would watch it."
this is all. This is it.
Yep, this is it, baby. This is all the world gives us. Yeah, but it was awesome. I mean, it looked like Nick Cage. It looked like if you've watched the documentary and everything, it looked like what the walk-in version would be for Brainiac. So anyone out there, we posted it on our social media. Go check it out. You'll be just as disappointed as we were that it's not real. So
That it's just not real.
we got two images that aren't really showing us much from the upcoming DC animated film, The Doom That Came to Gotham. We see Batman in the distance on a rooftop, and then what looks like Oliver Queen with Bruce and maybe Clark or maybe Dick. I don't know. Out of costume, just wearing suits. So not really too much giving away there. But what bums me out is ever since they changed the animation style, they used to drop the trailer for the next movie when the last movie comes to home video. So when I'd buy the Blu-ray of the movie that just came out, the trailer for the next one was on it, or a featurette type trailer.
or a first look. Yeah.
And they don't do that anymore, and it really bums me out because I really miss that. It helped build the anticipation of the next film. Let's see. It seems like January 6th, Stargirl season 3 will be dropping on HBO Max.
Ooh, awesome.
So you better watch it so we can talk about it because I'm really bummed. I want to talk about it. Me and Solomon talked about it. That's because we watched it together. But speaking of
Yeah.
bummers, so did you
Yes, I
see
will put it
this?
on a priority list, and we'll get to talk about it next month.
Supposedly there will be a lot of DC cartoons leaving HBO Max on January 31st. Aquaman, the 1967, Justice League Unlimited, and Batman the Brave and the Bold.
See, that sucks. Those last three, like there's uh anytime that you just want to put on something that you've seen a bunch of times in the background and you want it to be superhero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way if you wanted to sit down and take 10 minutes to watch it, you're like, awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But here's
Yeah,
my
it
prediction.
sucks that would be going.
Here's my prediction. They're going to drop off, but they're going to pop up like on Netflix. How much do you make a bet that one of their business plans right now is stuff like that is to sell to other streamers for a while? Because they're all about, right now, they're taking away HBO Max in a sense. And they're taking it back to when it was before, where stuff's bouncing between other streamers. Because they can sell it and make money off selling it to a streamer for a while than they can having it on their streamer.
Yeah.
How much you want to bet that it'll pop up on something? I mean, I own all of Justice League.
See, I don't own all of that. The only
No,
one that I own, oh no, two that I own in entirety actually is because I bought is Superman the animated series, and then I bought the complete Batman Beyond series. I have a couple of volumes of Batman the animated series, but I don't have it in its entirety, and I don't have Justice League.
Okay, I have all of Justice League Unlimited I bought on Blu-ray. I have Volume 1 of Justice League. I don't have Volume 2 of Justice League. And I don't have Volume 4 of Batman the Animated Series, which is the New Gotham Adventures. Because that one was always really hard to find. So, and then I have Season 1 of Batman the Brave and the Bold. Yeah. So I have Season 1 of Batman the Brave and the Bold. So I don't have all of it, but that's why I continue grow my collection. So, speaking of growing my collection, I was really upset at Walmart this year the way they did their Black Friday movies. Like I
Well,
was in there
since
one.
seeing as the physical selection at just about any store is getting smaller, I'm not sure
Well,
how they did it this year. I didn't check
well,
it out.
well, what they did was they had them all. Okay, so I went in like a couple of days, like a week before Thanksgiving, and I asked them because you know how they were like bringing stuff out, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna do those like right around Thanksgiving." I said, "Okay." I went in a couple of days before Thanksgiving, and I walked by, and there's like the huge thing that's like that has all the movies that are there with the color stickers and everything. And I'm like, sweet. But then I'm looking, I'm like, what's the prices? And the lady's like, oh, they're back to regular price now. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, we only did the Black Friday prices for like 2 days. So they put out all these movies that are specially marked for Black Friday, but only did it for 2 days at those prices, then stopped. And I'm like, it's not even Thanksgiving yet. And I was here, and you guys told me you weren't going to put them out yet. You didn't even. I'm like, usually you put it out and you just let it go until they're sold out. Because usually that's when I buy seasons of TV shows. So
Right,
I was,
because you can
I
get
was,
them like 10, $15.
yeah. So I was pretty pissed because I had planned on buying my Super Pets in physical, and a couple others like in physical. But yeah, so all that to say, they're taking stuff off, which is frustrating. But that's why I'm trying to own what I love. You know, I love these cartoons, so I try to own them as much as I can. Let's see. Other news. The first trailer for the Flash, like trailer for the Flash, will be during the Super Bowl, which is kind of weird because I didn't realize that was still a thing. I feel like I thought we got kind of like away from that, you know, because of the internet. But to me, I would see doing a small like TV spot trailer for the Super Bowl, and then at the end says like, watch the trailer online, and then have the full trailer like online.
I mean, it's expensive, you know? It's
Exactly. That's
expensive
why
to
you just
have
do
one of those.
That's why you do a
Um,
30-second TV spot. You know what I'm saying? and then push everyone to go watch the whole trailer online instead of having a
Right.
long trailer.
Well, if the rumors are to be true, it's supposedly pretty damn good, but only time will tell. Um, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of the film. We've been waiting forever for it, and it has been a long go, and a lot of directors and a lot of changing of hands.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just glad it's still happening. My thing would be, if you were going to do this, was to do another one of like the World Needs Hero type trailers and cut a trailer for all the movies and release it. So you're basically getting to advertise everything in one go. And like I said, put an ad for like a hashtag or a QR code or something on the screen for the full Flash trailer. The new trailer for Shazam will release in the new year, which I hope it's like New Year's Day would be dope, just because we're technically three months out, you know, and I'm stoked. I love the first Shazam more and more. I'm really hoping that McFarlane releases all the characters as figures instead of just Shazam/Billy. I'd like to buy the whole Shazam family.
Yeah. Um, I like the whole family. I'm looking forward to seeing them in action and the new suits. And the figure that they made for Shazam looks really good. So I would hope that they would put as much attention to detail in the others.
Yeah, 'cause I think it'd be
But I
fun to
mean,
buy.
McFarlane's toys are usually um, pretty good and pretty detailed.
Yeah, they usually do a good job of representing like all the characters, so that's what we want. And then officially, The Rock, because we kind of talked about before. It was kind of funny how The Rock never like responded to anything that James Gunn had announced, and eventually he said something, made their piece that there's nothing right now for Black Adam in their plans. So, and it's like, okay, it's kind of a bummer, but we'll see. I mean, we don't know what's going on. Um, it's just kind of one of those
No, but
like,
if the movie was a little bit profitable, and it's The Rock, and they build a little bit of hopefully brand trust, that way people
mhm.
are like, oh, a new DC movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
And then that would be a great opportunity to bring Black Adam back for another movie.
Black Adam. I think, like I told you before, just do a like a Shazam 3/Black Adam 2 rolled into one movie. Since you're not actually, what do you call it, giving all the Shazam movies like numbers, you're just make the Shazam and Black Adam or Black Adam and Shazam type, as the third movie in the Shazam franchise. Um, so you can give them both a big kind of finale. But
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
so, all right. Well, that's all the news I had. There's not really much going on because James Gunn's smart and keeps a tight lid on stuff.
Yeah, he keeps a tight lid on stuff, but he also likes to engage on social media with a little bit of at least calling out fake news and stuff like that,
Exactly.
when it comes to what the DC universe is or will be, or maybe who's even um, playing characters or who's going to be involved. So it's a level of transparency that we have never had,
Which we've
except for
needed
when they over marketed BVS.
when they just
Like it's a level of transparency we've never had on, especially on the the upper level. So it's a little refreshing, but still got we don't know anything yet. And there was something I just saw. I don't have anything. Now I feel bad. It was January 6th.
Yeah, it already. James and I said.
Potential.
Yeah, here I said no.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
He's keeping it together, man, and I appreciate it.
Well, that's good, because he said no, but they also, he did say that things will start to be released or talked about after the new year. So, give a few months and see what comes out.
Yeah. Hopefully for my birthday, I can finally, afford Ultra, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, please do. That would be great.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. So, okay, let's get into some comics here. No, first, let's do comics last. Let's wrap up. It's the end of the year, and we are hitting our goal. We have a few episodes of Superboy left to go. You ready, James?
I am ready.
Superboy Season 2, Episode 23. Revenge from the Deep. Sounds like it could be an awesome Aquaman crossover. Was it? No. Lana's body is taken over by a vengeful soul looking to settle a score over unrequited love. Aired April 28th, 1990. James, your thought on this?
Yeah, I kind of thought that they would have a mention of like Atlantis or anything underwater, but they talked about like being in human form, like there's some kind of, I don't know, spirits from the sea or something.
Inhuman, like those things from Marvel. It's like, I'm just being a dick.
No, being in a human form.
oh, that's a.
Because like he did a spell to her when it seemed like he was choking her out at the very beginning, and she turned into like a piece of coral.
Okay.
Which somehow possessed Lana.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like dude.
But yeah, there was no mention of like Atlantis or anything. Nothing. It seemed very vague as to what it was, but it was based out of the sea.
Yeah, it was not good. Yeah, we'll just say it. It was not good. I didn't like it very much because it just felt weird. Okay, I don't even know how to say it. It just felt weird. I guess that's
It
all I'm
just
gonna
felt
say.
weird.
It did.
It was.
Like
That's kind of what we get to say for the last episode too, but we'll get there.
God, we'll get there. Okay. Episode 24, Secrets of Superboy. After the villain Knick-Knack escapes from prison, he captures Lana and Andy and probes their minds, discovering Superboy's weakness. Gilbert Godfrey is back, man. What'd you think?
Gilbert Godfrey. Oh man. That guy is something else.
Yeah, I think Knick-Knack is an interesting character because I don't remember
He's
him.
cold. He killed that one. What was her name? His wife, fiance.
Woman.
Woman he was lying to, but woman nonetheless.
Yeah. But say I don't know what to say about her, so I'm just gonna call her his woman. But yeah, he was cold and mean and cruel, and Knick-Knack's never been in anything else. I think he's an untapped character. But I don't know. Ready? Here's the one that you love. I know you love this episode. Ready? Johnny Casanova and the Case of the Secret Serum, episode 25, May 12th, 1990. Johnny Ava, it's Casanova spelled backwards, okay? As a tennis player, finds a mysterious potion left behind by his dead brother that transformed him into Johnny Casanova, an overweight Slav who also happens to be a magnet for women, including Lana. This could be a funny premise. Like the fact that like you take a potion instead of turning into like the handsome guy, you turn into like the fugly guy, but everybody wants you. Like that could be kind of a funny premise. I don't know if it could work anymore. Everybody's too like woke, but whatever.
Yeah, there's a level of shallowness to it, but it's kind of the reverse. So I don't know, like, could it
That's
still
why,
work for a comedy or
yeah,
not?
it could.
It was a
I mean,
funny episode, and that
it's directed
guy's the
by
guy from
Teen Wolf.
uh Pee Wee's. Yeah, Teen
Oh,
Wolf.
I thought him as in the big guy, but it was directed by David Nutter. So I mean, we love David Nutter's directing. But yeah,
Well, out of these 4 episodes, I don't know. It might be the best.
oh, it is because at least it's some sort of fun. But it only got like a 5.5 on IMDb, which is kind of a bummer. Just because I'm like, it was different. It took some risk. And then of course, episode 26, The Woman Called Tiger Eye, 6.3, released May of 1990. A sorceress called Tiger Eye captures Lana, turns her into a snake to lure Superboy into attempting a rescue so she can ensnare him in a spell and make him her own. James, your thoughts?
Um, that woman's got to be a soap opera actress. Like, Jamie was playing Skyrim as I was watching this, and she's like, "What kind of soap opera shit are you watching?" And I told her, I showed her what it was, and she was like, "Oh my goodness." Because she'll watch it with me once in a while, um the Superboy stuff, but like she won't watch more than one. Like after that, it's pushing it.
Jania tried. She's like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
She'll watch Smallville. She'll watch Lois and Clark. She'll watch Superman and Lois. She'll watch The Adventures of Superman with George Reeve, but she can't do Superboy. I'm like, I get it. Like, I'm not hating it. I get it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally get it.
But hey, that's the end of Superboy season 2. And we'll wait a little while and we'll kickstart season 3 next year in 2023. See a pattern, James? But in January, we're going to jump back into the Legion. Get into some of the Legion cartoons, finish that off as we build towards the Legion movie in February. But now it's time for some comics. So one comic I'm going to talk about, and I'm just going to kind of breeze over it because it's been so long. I finally got to pick up my issue. Was Flashpoint Beyond 6 of 6. It was cool. We finally figured out that little boy that we've been trying to figure out who he is Rip Hunter's son. Their costumes, uniforms, whatever they are fugly. Green with that like red thing with their Santa's elves. And basically it ends with that little boy Dexter being Thomas Wayne's Robin, and Martha, basically they fake Joker Martha's death, and she's on a road to recovering. She's basically in a cell in the Batcave at Wayne Manor. And
Well, yeah, but so
the
the
high
buildup
points.
of the story, the point of the story here with the time with the time masters is that Batman has the snow globe, which he contained the Flashpoint universe, and he's using the energy from Janie Slater's watch to kind of be the um I don't know, hyper time. I forget exactly. It's been a little longer since I read this one, but it's time and space, and but he's got it. That's how he's containing it, and then they're just not wanting to risk Thomas Wayne's existence because it could ruin everything. But he actually um, chooses to save the day and um, live with Martha in that cell and take this new Robin on and become a hero.
Yeah.
So like Bruce took like a major gamble with the universe. You gambled the entire universe on your father accepting a world without you. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Now that the Flashpoint universe is alive, exists here, kind of bringing that back. Um,
Yeah.
but there is a Watchmen tease there at the end. I'm not sure who this person is. She looks like she could be an Ozymandias child or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah.
She's got like Bubastis.
It's I was trying to think if I'd seen her before. Like, it definitely is open in like it wasn't in Doomsday Clock, which I really want to reread, like straight through.
Me as well. I have both Volume 1 and Volume 2 hardcovers. I wanted those, so I got those like that.
I'd love to do like just a huge like Watchmen deep dive with the Before Watchmen, the Watchmen book, and then the Doomsday Clock. But so
Right.
much. There's always so much to read and do. But maybe we should. Maybe we should find a month and just make it a Watchmen month or something.
That would be pretty cool. One thing I do want to... You still have your Infinite, though, right?
Yeah.
Just not Ultra?
Yeah.
Okay. Just because the... Jeff Johns is writing the Justice Society book that just came out, as well as what was it? There was a couple of them. One that came out, but the new one that just... Let me see. And there's a tease like from Flashpoint Beyond there, so it's gonna be interesting.
Jeff Johns is going to write his own universe.
Yeah, he's kind of got his own, but I just think it would be something. It was Justice Society of America #1, the new Golden Age.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Issue.
Now, we have not done Superman Son of Kal-El parts 18 / Kal-El Returns Part 6, The Last Stand Against Red Sin. We haven't done that one yet, have we?
Did we do that one?
I don't remember if we did or not. I've been so behind on my books. I've tried to catch up.
Yeah, I've been reading.
Maybe we did do it.
So many books recently, just like like I paid for it, so I took advantage of it.
I know.
Started to taper back just recently, but
okay. We'll go over it kind of quickly. We won't do panel by panel because we have. But the last book in the Superman Son of Kal-El series, 18, which is crazy to think about It's already been a year and a half since it started. Hold on a second here. Okay, so number 18 starts with Superman and Superman. John as Superman, which gets confusing because he's not Superboy right now, which he technically should be, but whatever. Building the new Kent home. And then my man, the one-man construction crew, the Flash, is there. So is Wonder Woman and Green Lantern. Then Batman shows up with Nightwing, and the Kent house is finished. Because, of course, it is. And they're talking about being safe.
When you have superheroes building your house.
And we learned that Nightwing did some recon. They found out that Luis Rojas, his parents were scientists working on a project for LexCorp. Go figure. He figured out the rest for Red Sin. And then we find out that Jimmy falls victim to pizza, and he gets kidnapped using his signal watch. And then we have Superman, which I'm not going to just refer to as Clark and John. Okay, they both go. They hear the watch. They both go, and then it keeps going off. And John finds there was a bomb that was a distraction. Can't find his dad, but then falls right there with Lewis as John is bleeding, and Lewis starts shooting John. And then John talks about how 30 years ago I was trapped in a volcano by a monster. I was kept away from yellow sun. I couldn't fly to escape. I decided that would never ever happen again. A friend made me something in the future, a failsafe, for if I was ever caught away from the source of my power. It's virtually indestructible when attached to me. My invulnerability extended to anything touching my skin, but Luis Rojas has taken my invulnerability. So now, and we see it's Brainy from the Legion making John's belt. In case of emergency, break glass. And he breaks his belt and then basically becomes golden, all-powerful John. He says, I feel
it's like a burst of sunlight in his belt.
A pure nuclear sun or something.
Yeah.
And it says, I feel it in all return instantly, and something else, something I've never felt before, which makes me think, is this the catalyst for what we know? Because I got my comic shop news thing, and it has, of course, looks like they're gonna do like a blue Superman thing.
It has something
Superman
to do with the
John.
Lazarus Planet storyline that's going to be happening.
Yep. So then John flies in, grabs Clark. We find out he had a bulletproof vest on. And then...
which was awesome because Nightwing suggested it for him, and he says, I wasn't going to ignore his advice.
Yeah, for real. Nightwing's the man, that's why. And then
if he tells you to prepare for something, you better do it.
Nightwing's like the pal you want. Batman scares you, but Nightwing, you're like, high five, buddy. And then we see, we see the Kents use their freeze breath and freeze Mr. Rojas. And then
Mr. Rojas.
We basically, he hates John, wants everyone to see them as an alien, not as human. He'll never talk to him, blah, blah, blah. John says, I'll be back next week. Maybe we can talk enough. And he says, start to see me as human. He says, you're not human, John. Humans break. And then we have a rooftop talk between father and son. And then we have Lex Luthor show up to Mr. Rojas and says,
it's...
So,
the John, when he goes to talk to his dad, he says, I think I have a nemesis. And I think that's what was created here.
Yeah.
An arch nemesis for this Superman.
Which is needed, Every character needs that foil. Also, I'm getting tired of my comic shop not putting boards in my comics, even though I ask for them every time. So I'm just getting really, really upset with my comic shop's value. So, but get this real quick. Christmas, okay? My mother-in-law got me 2 short boxes, and my sister-in-law got me 2 short boxes. Okay?
Oh wow!
To help replace the ones that were tore up from that horrible accident, dog attack that
horrible
happened.
incident. Yes.
Yeah. So I had not cracked into my Batman comics since then because I just didn't want to, and I had to go through it. A huge chunk of my Batman Eternal is missing, so that's not very fun. But I decided to crack open the boxes yesterday or day before. Sayla helped me go through all the comics and categorize them by group, right? And I had picked up my books that morning. Inside one of those short boxes was a $20 gift certificate to the comic book store. And I was like, oh,
ooh,
I'm so glad I opened this box because had I not, it just would have sat there. And I think my mother-in-law forgot that she got it because
4
usually
months.
she would have said something or would have she always gives us stockings with candy and then like a gift card in it. She would have put it in my stocking. So I generally think she forgot about it. So I just was like, wow, that could have covered my books when I picked them up. But
Yeah. Well, when I picked up my books just yesterday, when I went and picked up 1050 and the new Deceased, um, they gave me a free bag and board with a envelope inside, and inside of it was a Christmas card, and inside that was a certificate for $10 store credit.
dude, I
So I was
see.
like, oh crap! But I didn't open it until after I left. I was like, oh, I could have picked up my Spawn books too because I would have had the $10 in store credit. But I just decided to leave those for a week, and it's 2 more books next week to grab.
That's part of why I'm thinking about just shifting my pull back to the comic book store that I used to go to when I worked. It's like 45 minutes from the house, but it's an amazing shop. If you ever come visit me, I'll take you there.
Okay.
And I love that shop. They do great stuff all the time. So yes, I am just getting tired that this comic book shop here basically exists because there's nothing else around and they put no forth effort or anything into their customer base. Like they could care less about us. And
Well,
I'm all about local
yeah.
businesses, but I'm getting to the point where I'm upset, so I'm just going to go to another local business. And since I'm only getting super books, maybe I'll just do it like a once a month thing. Go up there and pick them up. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. But you got your Superman Kal-El Returns special one shot.
I do. So for the for the Son of Kal-El, I got the Jim Lee holiday cover with his new 52 look on
Yeah,
Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman.
that's cool. I got all the regular color covers because that's how my shop works. Like sometimes
Ah,
they'll hold the cup, but nope. So I didn't even get a chance to pick one.
oh, well, I grabbed the Batman Spawn cover or the Superman Spawn cover for my Kal-El return special.
Nice.
Well, I'm a Spawn fan, so the crossover,
You just love to watch
there's
that
never been
movie.
a crossover of Superman and Spawn.
You just love that movie from from '97, the year with the greatest superhero movies of all time. Batman and
It's
Robin,
pure
Spawn, Steel.
nostalgia, and yes, I do love it.
Oh, I know. I get a kick out of it too.
I mean, Michael Jai White and John Leguizamo and friggin' Charlie Sheen. I mean, come on.
So, all right, let's do this. The first story is The Concert That Ate Gotham by Mark Waid. Okay, so Batman and Superman are together, and I thought the villain choice was really, really random. Being Mr. Nobody. And I was like, oh, Mr. Nobody from the Doom Patrol. And I knew that because of Doom Patrol Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was definitely going to be a setup by the Music Meister, but it wasn't. And it got really crazy when. So, what did you think about this story?
I mean, I thought it was, yeah, at first I was like, what's going on? And then music, and I thought the Music Meister too, and then Mr. Nobody. And, I've seen pictures of Mr. Nobody, but I've never actually seen him in a comic book.
Yep.
And it's kind of crazy to see how they drew him.
Yep.
It was a funny and wild story. And it was cool to see Superman getting to see where Bruce is now living, since he doesn't have the manor anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far back you are on Batman.
Oh no, I know he doesn't have the manner. I'm in and out with
Okay.
Batman. I love the ending though of him trying to cook with Clark and everything. Where he's like, Clark's like, "This is delicious." And he's like, "Great, now maybe you can help me with figure out the dishwasher." Like,
Right.
I do see Bruce being a person though that, what do you call it? Wouldn't know how to cook. So
I'd imagine there's certain skills that he lacks because he didn't necessarily have to develop them. I mean, he had to cook for himself and feed himself while he was abroad. But uh when he's Batman and the amount of time that he puts into that, um I'm sure at many points throughout his life, Alfred had to be there to make sure that he was eating food, that he wasn't getting lost in his work and not eating for hours on end, because you couldn't not.
well, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
everyone.
I'm sure Bruce requires a significant amount of calories.
Haven't you ever seen the Batman the Brave and the Bold with Scooby Doo? When you eat a high I can't even say the word because he said
Caloric.
yes. I was all tongue tied. Caloric diet. Man, I just get tongue tied sometimes. Oh well. Yeah, it's good stuff. But the next one, okay, is Jimmy, A Friend in Need. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, and A Friend in Need. I just have to say, I understand this one, but I do not like the artwork for it at all. It really turns me off from the story. Like, I like the bright colors, and I like all the people that Jimmy captures pictures of who are doing things and being heroic. And even we have the John Kent nod to Action Comics 1 because every Superman has to have a nod to Action Comics 1. But just the artwork of the story, I don't like it.
Yeah. And for the artwork being that way, like, and it being just mostly between Jimmy and Clark, it wasn't overly wordy, so
So
you
yeah,
could get
it was
through it pretty quick.
yeah. Um, but I'm just like it just I don't know.
It's just a nice chapter, though, in the Superman Returns uh, story where, like, Jimmy gets the first picture of Superman returning from War World after he's been gone for months.
Yeah. All right. Venice, Italy. The next story. it's talking about it's Lois and Clark in Italy together, and we get like a cut back to 48 hours. They're talking about a pizza place that John says is the best that they should too. He's like, look, Superman's like, I almost forgot it. John swears the best pizza in all of Venice is right over there. You want to? Maybe, says Lois, after. Mm-hmm. Then it says Metropolis 48 hours later. John's talking to his parents. Clark says, you need backup. And, that John thinks he's got a lead on Lex. He's going to drop in and surprise Lex and get him on this whole big gun running, weapon smuggling thing. And Clark's like, Lex is always really good about being ahead. So John pops down, and lo and behold, Lex was prepared. And he says, Superboy, come on in. Do you know you could have knocked first? But hey, friends are always welcome. And John says, we're friends? That's not what I read in the papers. Lex, fake news. Ignore it. Anyways, welcome to the LexCorp charity. We've been converting abandoned warehouses into living facilities for the homeless. City approved, courtesy with all proper licenses. And of course, John is now caught off guard because the false pass his father warned him about, he fell right into the trap. And, later they're at home and they're talking about how having all the powers and not being able to stop Lex. And then we got a great ready for patrol suit up of father and son. And they go out together, busting thugs, criminals. John confronts Lex. But the best part is when it says, where John asks, by the way, I never asked, what did you guys think of the pizza? Was it the greatest? And they say, we never got around to it. Sorry. We were so busy. Doing what? Touring, says Lois. Right. Touring, says Clark. Then John, looking embarrassed at the end, ducks his head and says, and you said Superman never lies. Da-dum. Because nobody wants to think about stuff like that.
Well, the artwork in this story is very, very good.
Yes, it is. It's a huge slap in the face to the one before it.
Especially the last page. I think the last page is really good.
Yes, it is. So, James, why don't you take the next story? You lead the conversation.
Superman returns home. He's like flying around. He flies past Lois and the Daily Planet. Smallville, his family. He's talking about home, a feeling, the way that home feels. We got another action #1 remake there. Seeing Superman smash the green car. This Will Always Be Home, the Hall of Justice. It's a recreation of Starro, the first appearance of the Justice League, the Watchtower, and it's even got like the 90s where Aquaman's got his hook hand and Superman's electric blue Superman.
Oh, they're pushing
Kyle's the Green Lantern.
They're nudging that. They're building us up for that. They're gonna make it cool again.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna make it cool.
Hey, it was cool the first time.
That's what we say. Nobody listened.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that.
Superman's got a billowy cape in this story.
Does.
Like it's always blowing around. It's always up in the air.
Tell me how much you like.
It looks really cool. It looks like Spawn. He's in the Hall of Justice, and he's basically caught off guard by the Justice League. Naomi, Martian Manhunter, Wally zips in, gives him a hug. Everybody's excited.
Naomi.
You know, who was that?
Naomi, that character that had that show for 10 seconds.
Yeah. Well, from what I could tell, the comic book counterpart's a little more interesting than what they put up on the screen.
Yes.
I'm not going to say a whole lot more, but
sounds good.
Yeah. So they're just talking, Justice League kind of doing their thing. Superman is checking out like his memorials and stuff. Because he's been gone for so long. So it's just, he's reminiscing about being home, feeling good about being home. The loss and sacrifice. You've got when Barry and Supergirl died in Crisis, Batman from probably Final Crisis, Superboy Connor when he was presumed dead until he returned again. They're just talking like catching up and just having friendly interactions, and then Superman is basically like flying out to War World, and he gets zapped. To see where Superman was transported, pick up the now classic Justice League number 75 and the epic Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Which I thought was kind of like crappy because, like, I don't want to know, but I guess it makes sense. Because I feel like it was like, now go read this. And you're like, I just want to read the story, man. But I need to finish Dark Crisis just for continuity. It should all be on Ultra, I think, by now.
Not all of it just yet, but I'm almost all the way through. I'm caught up on everything they do have.
I think I was there on the main storyline. I think I stopped at like issue 3 or 4 because my shop.
I read the whole storyline. I read the tie-ins.
See, that's all I want to read is the main storyline. And my shop person kept forgetting to put it as part of my pull. And like I said, book 3 or 4, I think is where I stopped. I just wasn't feeling it, to be honest with you. I just wasn't. I don't know. I just didn't care. It wasn't as like, oh my gosh, I gotta see what happens. But that's why I just want to get Ultra and just read it.
Well, it does kind of suck sometimes when there's tie-ins and everything, but there's definitely more explained on multiple fronts when you read the tie-in issues, especially here with Dark Crisis that I've read, like all the worlds without, the reason those exist and what they are like. And then feeds into the main, and then the Dark Crisis Young Justice books feed into the main storyline. So, and it's kind of cool to see the Titans be on the front line.
It is, because I feel like they always get shortchanged.
That was kind of the cool and interesting thing that I've seen so far with Dark Crisis is the Titans are kind of front and center. It's the next generation facing the crisis on their front is more of the focal point than the Justice League. The Justice League is involved. So it's a crisis from another point of view.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So the next one will be Action 1049, which is funny because technically we should have done this one before Superman Son of Kal-El, but it doesn't really matter at the same time because they didn't really kind of work together. even though they were like parts of the whole, this will work better as we go into 1050.
It will, yeah.
So James, you want to take us through 1049?
Sure, yeah. We open up at Stryker's Island where Lex is talking with Metallo, and he's telling Metallo, like, basically, he doesn't have a choice. He's got tech from War World and stuff that um, he's going to be able to make Metallo better, and he threatens, like, he's got his sister, you know? Um, got his sister up on like drug charges and stuff, and she's been arrested.
Yeah, Luther's
Um,
not playing around, man.
yeah, no, like Corbin's gonna do it, otherwise he's gonna screw over everything. The only thing that Corbin cares about, basically. Then we go back to Superman fighting the New Gods, Calabac and Orion, with Metron looking on. Metron, Mobius,
Mobius. Too many. Mobius.
Mobius.
Too many
Like,
M
yeah.
people.
Right. Um, and then you have Bibbo and Lois trying to help save people. And then you have the kids saving people. The young boy catches the ceiling before it collapses on some people. And then Desaad like catches him, and he's trying to take the fire from him. And the young kid says no, and he like explodes some power. The flame comes, like, basically the flame, Ulgron's like insanity that they're worried about from any part of him that infects this child, and it says, no, all flesh be mortal, creature save my own. No mortal chain may bind me. And Superman flies to Azul and like talks to him, and he kind of, he proves that he's there, and that and he calms down. And he says, "You're still you, Osul-Ra. Great power doesn't have to change you." Um, and Superman is, standing in between Orion and the kids, and he says that the child is not alone. He has me, his sisters, and others as well. And he tells Orion, "The way you chose to handle this, I have much greater faith in my own family to protect him than in yours." Um, so the New Gods, they leave via boom tube, and whether or not the boy survives the fire of Olgrim, he says that blame lies with you. 2 days later, Superman flies to Warworld. He's talking about Warworld, kind of giving everybody uh, a pep talk, like inspiring speech, with everybody choosing to wear his symbol, and it's all over the place. Like, it's on the wall. People, I think, he burns it. I don't know if he burns it into them, but he puts it on their chest plates and stuff. Wouldn't think he burns it into them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not my like. Whoop, little off there. And we got Orphan using the Orphan box and transporting Warworld away. Getting people back to their home worlds, finding homes for those whose home worlds are gone, that type of stuff. You sent me a bunch of pictures of Spawn's cape. For 97 CGI, like, it's okay for being like crazy alive symbiotic cape. And then back on Stryker's Island, the power goes out and Corbin is out, and he says, "You take too many extra shifts, Tony. Victor was supposed to be on tonight. Just this once, I'd wish you'd taken some time for yourself." This is Corbin. He's stuttering. He's kind of scared. He says, "I always appreciate you using my name, man. The other guys never do that. He took Tracy, Tony. That's all this is. You didn't do anything wrong." And he kills him.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, like it's somebody that he seems to have some modicum of respect for, in that he respected him in a way. But then, yeah, he kills him. And Luther's talking to him. He says, "Shut up, Luther." And then we go to Luther with Manchester Black. And Manchester was reporting to Luther on Superman on Warworld.
That's crazy.
Giving Lex intel on Warworld.
But it makes sense, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it does show that Manchester really isn't.
Yep. And then next, Project Blackout, which is a big deal.
Yeah. So.
And then we got part 3 of Red Moon, where we had his name before, Chattel, I think. And his creature are inside the planet, and Theola and Supergirl are fighting to stop it. So they fight the creature. They stop the creature with Theola's power. There's a machine, orphan box maybe, that she stops the creature with, and they take Chattel, and then he is Theola. New Felosia draws close. Our journey's near done. What are you doing down here with this old wretch? She says, I suppose I pity him. Feels wrong to keep him in chains after all we went through to be rid of ours. This is Warworld weeks later. This is after Warworld has teleported away. If we try to take his iron, he'd howl like a beast. His chains are all he cares about. And she says she knows. And they walk away, leaving him, and get a ping. And we've got... what was this guy's name? This was the guy who betrayed Superman on Warworld.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Felosians. I just can't remember his name. They don't say it here. But he frees Chattel, takes him with him, and says, "Not the end." So that's Action 1040. 49.
49. And then I thought 1050 originally when we talked about it. I thought 1050 was coming in January. So I really thought it was a big push for the new year. But but no. It came at the end of this year with its cover price. I'm hoping it's just a one-time thing and not the current going to be ever-going cover price.
Yeah, I would not look forward to it, and I don't know. I'm still undecided on what and how many I might end up picking up. I have
Mine is just
I have Ultra for a reason.
Mine is I want to finish out what do you call it? Finish out my crap, I can't think anymore. that thing that we started, Dark Knights of Steel. There we go.
Oh yeah, like I'm finishing Dark Knights of Steel. I'm finishing Deceased, because I have every book. I even have all the Deceased in hardcover, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish Dark Knights of Steel, and then I'm just moving everything to just Superman books. I'll read everything else online. So
Yeah, I mean that's all I'm getting right now is Superman books, except for my Spawn books.
all right,
But
James, you
I'd
ready
have
for
to wait a
this?
few months to be able to read those on Hoopla when they get released.
You ready for 1050?
I'm ready for 1050. And I'm going to say right out the gate, the artwork in this issue was kind of a drain for me. Like there were some good art panels and some really dynamic color use and stuff that was really cool. But the basis of the artwork in this first story was not my favorite.
Well, let's look here together.
At least in the very beginning, it looks like it changes.
Yeah,
It's
it's
whoever.
because it's one of those they looks like they had multiple teams. You know,
Yeah,
there's a crap ton of covers to this. Um, which cover did you get?
I got the regular cover on this.
Yeah, me too. I like the regular cover a lot.
I do too.
Um, so it wasn't anything like, oh man. But all right, let's start this Project Blackout. It starts with Manchester Black being hooked up to a giant machine. He has all kinds of stuff plugged into his mind, into his brain. Uh, and Manchester basically reveals to Lex that all this time that Lex, you know, is really focused on Superman, wanting to know what he's doing. He's obsessing over it. That Superman doesn't care about Lex, doesn't think about Lex, doesn't worry over Lex. And that makes Luthor angry. And Manchester's laughing in his face, and Luthor flips the switch, and we just see a whoom, boom, fume sound, and it looks like it's covering the entire world. And we see Tokyo, Japan, Melbourne, Australia, the Gardens by the Bay in Singapore, Jamaica, Smallville, Kansas. And this is where the art changes right here. Just on
Yeah.
this page right here, it changes. And Lois says, "Can you check on your father?" "Sure, Mom." He flies up, says, "Dad just helping out with a dam burst in India. Actually, would you mind if I..." And Jace tells him to go. And they're in Delhi, India. And the artwork's not horrible, but some of the expressions, like Superman's face in the bottom left panel, looks a little wonky. But we have Perry White showing up. And Clark and John show up. They're Supermans. And he says, "It's so good to see you, Mr. White. Thank you for coming." And he says, "Superman, what are you doing here?" And then Perry basically sees Clark Kent, starts to piece it together in his brain, and has a heart attack. And the next page, the art
Yeah, that
changes
was
again.
nuts.
The art changes again, and this time it's worse. Perry's in the hospital. They're talking about it, and then Clark gets a different kind of signal watch sound, and he takes off. And it's Luthor with his own signal watch. And James, you want to take it from here?
So Luther has his own signal watch. He calls Superman. Um, and he tells him that he's seen it from Jimmy. He's seen him have this watch. He says he makes first of many upgrades to the watch, to his Molex.
Yeah. Sure, it's not just a Lex.
He says something that he's learned from his indiscretion with Perpetua, is that the world needs Superman. And since then, I have been proven right twice. During your extended absence on Warworld with Mongol, and then during our multiverse mayhem with Pariah, where you were believed dead again. So he says, but if the world needs Superman, then I will give them the best possible version, my Superman. And he's got like some sort of suit of armor,
Right.
the
Which I wasn't
helmet, and
quite sure where we were going with that, but okay.
yeah, I was like, didn't you already do this, Lex? Like your own Superman suit of armor? The world cannot know you are Clark Kent. He says, what did you do? He says that he took Warworld tech, Henry Bendix's tech, and Manchester Black's powers to become to initiate Project Blackout. The truth is a dangerous thing, and then he gets in this giant Lex suit, and Superman starts fighting him. Lex says, you and I both know you would never hurt another soul. I, on the other hand, and he throws a car, which this next set of 3 panels is pretty cool. Superman catches the car, sets it down, and he's gone, and then he taps Luther on the back and punches him, sends him up out into outer space, and he catches him, takes him farther, and he throws him to the moon.
He wants to take him to the moon and back. Like that Savage Garden.
Yeah, right. Says, and you lied. You hid. This is kind of cool. He says because they're talking about Smallville. He says, "What do you know of her? When you and I were in Smallville together, I was so alone. I felt like there was no one in the universe who could understand what I was going through. And you lied. You hid who you really were. That you were also alone and outsider, when that could have helped me for years. And instead, you gave your identity to them. And if I wasn't good enough for the truth, no one is." Just kind of like it's kind of why he doesn't know the truth, is that's how the way he feels.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, he says, where is Manchester? I never liked him. He was smug. He smoked. The world's better off with him gone. He says, what? And there's a look of shock in Clark's eyes. He says, you better not be saying what I think you're saying. Where is Manchester Black? He says, grow up. You know where he is. And he says he used his hypnotic powers on everybody. Yes, it killed him, but still at a bargain, twice the price. Thanks to him, I now have access to world technology and enough power to submit even you. And Superman's pissed. Murderer. I asked for his help. That's why he went to World. I asked Manchester Black, a criminal, to risk his life for people he'd never met. And even when the Justice League said no, he said yes, and you killed him. And then he sends him away because I don't know if you had said it, but like Luther says, you drank the Kool-Aid, that you bought into what he was saying. And Manchester said, yeah. So Manchester kind of like became a follower, believed in Superman.
Of course he did.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And Lex is having a rough time. Says, maybe I miscalculated. Maybe things will be easier without you around after all. Says he took that poorly. Safe journey, Clark. Maybe I'll send your family to the Canis Major system to keep you company. And then something happens. The hole is opened back up. He says, "You don't get it, Luther. I'm not like I was." He says, "What are you doing? How are you here?" My mind and body are stronger than they've ever been. Concepts like weight, distance, temperature, even space time have largely lost their meaning for me. In moments, I can cross distances that cease to be distance. And I don't need your little metal suits or ray guns to do it. And he just touches his suit and everything comes apart.
It's amazing. Like, I was like, wait a minute. I was sitting there, I'm like, this feels like a Flash thing almost.
Yeah. And actually, somebody posted asking Philip Kennedy Johnson if he gave Superman tactile telekinesis.
Mm.
And he says no. And he references the bioelectric aura, especially from All Star Superman, where he says he's just doing creative things with his bioelectric aura.
Well, that's neat.
Yeah. So that's from our writer there. Um, he's like, don't kill me. He says, of course you would think that. You're going to prison for murder. The next time you think you have the power to threaten my family or kill my friends with impunity, think again. And he looks mad, like he looks serious. Um, then in Gotham, we've got an art change here.
Yeah, we did.
Superman talking to Batman and Nightwing, talking about um, it was a planet-wide telepathic attack. The Justice League reservists and Titans all have psychic defenses set up by Martian Manhunter. His parents and Jay and Lois were all protected by the shield on the farm. But nobody else recognizes the identities of Superman, of the Supermen. And he says there's photos of John and I. There are articles, there's video. And it says it's not just that people who have forgotten who you are. The suggestion is so strong that it extends to any images or other media people see. If it contradicts what their mind is telling them, they reject it. It's why Bruce, all of the things Lex could do with this power. Why this? He says simple. Lex doesn't want the world seeing you guys as human. But then he's like, is it a bad thing? The way that Lois became just the wife of Superman, not the most prolific journalist in the world. He's worried about how John is taking this. And John is loving it.
Yeah.
John is loving having a secret identity. He says, this is perfect. He can walk down the street as himself and not have to be Superman. Which I think, because for the most part, in the 18-issue run that we got with Son of Kal-El, that's what he was. He was Superman. He was never anything else.
Yeah, he never got to be
very
John.
early on, his pseudo-secret identity was blown.
Hey, someone just popped in. Wants to say hi, James. Want to say hi to James?
Hi, James. Hi, everybody.
Hey, what's up?
No, he wanted to say hi real quick. But yeah.
Okay. But Lex is in prison on Stryker's Island, and to be continued in Superman #1. Elsewhere in the multiverse, we've got he's dead. You sure? I'm sure. No heartbeat, no synapses firing in his mind. Another Kal-El murdered. We have to stop this, but we can't involve another dimension's Kal-El. No, we need the sun. Val Zod saying we need John Kent.
That's
to be
awesome.
Continued in Adventures of Superman, John Kent.
That's awesome. Someone's killing Kal-Els, and having Val Zod is awesome because he's definitely a character that's appeared, but then's barely had any play in any stories.
Absolutely, yeah. He's only existed for the most part in Earth 2. The Earth 2 books, Earth 2 Society.
The Society has the most of him because the Earth 2 book, he didn't come in till later, but that's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then we see Metropolis, and guess who has a new body was built for him, basically. Who is it, James?
Corbin, Metallo.
Go figure. Like, that
I
wasn't
can
Luther
feel my
today.
hands. It smells like cough drops. I can smell, is this real? This is finally the next step for Metallo, where he actually gets a body back.
Yeah, I'm like Luther wasn't setting that up the whole time.
Yeah. Continued in Action Comics. Dawn of DC begins next month.
So
I liked this book. I wanted to talk about this book. It just came out this week.
okay.
You know, I wanted to talk about this book because I'm excited for what comes next. I'm happy we got Val Zod coming. Tom Taylor continuing on writing John Kent, bringing in Val Zod. You know, the Action Comics that are supposed to be like the super family stories,
Yep.
the I don't know, anthologies, maybe
Yep.
not quite, but
the
I'm
super-
sure they'll have an interconnected arc and things like that, but still,
I
you
look
know,
forward
I'm
to us
excited for the next round of super books.
getting
I really
something
am.
back in the vein of like what do you call it? Every week there's a book, a super book. You know, if it's like Superman, then the next week's Action, then it's the John Kent book, and then it's whatever other book they have planned. So like I'm getting almost 4 titles of Superman a month.
Yeah,
pretty
which is
excited.
pretty awesome.
So, all right, man, we made it. This is our final episode of the year.
Goodbye, 2022. Happy New Year and hello, 2023. We got
Yeah.
4 DC. We got 4 DC movies.
Yeah,
Supposed to come out this year.
let's see. We got 4 DC movies, a return of a show, a piece of crap show that we're hoping fails and goes straight to the dumpster fire, and that we pretend it doesn't exist. And we got some announcements and some change. So 2023.
Well, we also got Titans.
Well, yeah, we got
Part
shows
2
coming
of
back.
season 4.
Yeah, we got stuff coming back. Like we got Superman and Lois. We got the final season of The Flash, Titans 4.2, Doom Patrol 4.2. Yeah, I mean that's really it's gonna be weird.
2023 is looking good, and then hopefully, with a little bit of this added transparency that we have, maybe we'll, like I said earlier, a few months from now, maybe we'll be talking about what is announced, what is supposed to be coming next.
Yeah, we will be. You know us. Look to our schedule. We have some cool things planned for the new year. And as always, just keep remembering and believing in hope, everybody.
Look up in the sky.
We just want to say if you've enjoyed this podcast, please check out other podcasts on the Press Play Podcast Network.
If you are like Tyler and James and can't get enough super talk, check out these other podcasts. Digging for Kryptonite, Supergirl Radio, The Last Sons of Krypton, the Superboy Legacy Podcast, All-Star Superfans, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Aspiring Kryptonians, Always Hold On to Smallville, The Geek of Steel, and Truth, Justice, and Hope.
Remember to check out Krypton Report on all social media platforms. Go to linktree.com/Krypton Report. You find out all of our information. $1 a month. You'll get extra special content that you don't get on the main show, like movie commentaries and whatever else comes out of our mouths. So check it out, patreon.com/Krypton Report.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, Keep listening to the Krypton Report.
We're going to press pause and hear a few words from our other podcasts on Press Play Podcast Network.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month, and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us, and then listen in.